Welcome to Soul Spirit Stories, where every story touches the heart and reminds us that fate has its own mysterious ways of bringing souls together. It was a cold evening in late October when Michael Turner, a single father and a war veteran, drove his old pickup truck through the lonely stretch of highway outside of town. The rain was falling hard, beating against the windshield, and his thoughts wandered, as they often did, to his daughter Emma, waiting at home with her school books and a warm cup of cocoa. Michael had seen enough of life's battles. The war had taken friends, time, and pieces of his soul he could never reclaim. All that remained was Emma, and his quiet determination to rebuild a simple, honest life for her. As he turned onto the forest road shortcut, his headlights caught something unusual, a flicker of movement near the ditch. He slowed down, gripping the steering wheel. At first he thought it was just an animal, but then he saw her, a woman drenched and shivering, lying on the muddy ground beside a crashed black SUV. He jumped out immediately, his military instincts kicking in. "Ma'am, can you hear me?" he shouted over the storm. Her eyes fluttered open, pale and filled with pain. "Please, help me," she whispered before collapsing again. Michael quickly checked her pulse. It was weak, but there. He carried her to his truck, covering her with his jacket. She was freezing, dressed in what looked like business clothes now soaked through, and there was blood on her forehead. He drove straight to his small farmhouse, calling out to his daughter the moment they arrived. "Emma, grab the first aid kit!" Together, they tended to the stranger by the fireplace. Emma's wide eyes were full of worry. "Dad, is she going to be okay?" Michael nodded, though he wasn't sure. "She will. We just need to keep her warm." When the woman finally woke up the next morning, confusion filled her face. "Where am I?" Michael handed her a cup of tea. "You're safe. My name's Michael. You were in an accident. We brought you here." She hesitated before speaking. "My name is Claire." She didn't say much else that day. But Michael noticed her hands, soft, uncalloused, and her watch, a limited edition model that looked far too expensive for someone in trouble. Days passed. She stayed at the farmhouse, recovering slowly. Emma grew fond of her, asking questions, telling stories, and even braiding Claire's hair. There was something calming about her presence, even if her eyes sometimes looked lost, as if haunted by something deeper. One evening, while Michael was fixing the fence outside, Claire joined him, wrapped in one of Emma's old scarves. "You didn't have to help me," she said quietly. "Most people would have driven past." Michael looked up. "I've seen enough people left behind. I don't plan to be one of them." That was the first time she smiled, but behind that smile was a storm of secrets. A week later, the local news broke a shocking story. The CEO of a powerful tech company, Claire Devon, had gone missing after her car went off the highway. There was speculation about a hostile takeover, corporate betrayal, and someone trying to end her life. Michael stared at the screen, speechless. The woman sitting in his kitchen wasn't just Claire. She was that Claire. He walked in slowly, the words heavy in his throat. "So, you're the CEO they're looking for?" Claire froze, her eyes glistening. "I didn't mean to drag you into this. I didn't know where else to go." "Who did this to you?" he asked. She hesitated. "My own partner. We built the company together. But when I uncovered his plans to sell out and frame me for embezzlement, he made sure I disappeared." Michael's jaw tightened. The soldier in him stirred. The protector. The man who couldn't walk away from someone in danger. "Then you're not going anywhere until we make this right," he said. That night, he stayed awake, thinking. His simple life had suddenly collided with a world of power, greed, and betrayal. Yet, for the first time in years, he felt a purpose again. A mission not driven by war, but by justice. Over the next few days, Claire regained her strength. Michael helped her piece together her evidence. Emails, flash drives, documents she'd hidden before the crash. Emma, unaware of the danger, thought it was a game of secret codes and spies. When the police finally came, Michael made the call himself, but not before ensuring the truth would come out. The evidence he helped her recover was enough to expose the partner's scheme and clear her name. In the chaos that followed, the media, the investigations, the reporters, Claire tried to keep her distance from Michael and Emma. She didn't want her world to endanger theirs, but fate has its own plans. Weeks later, on a quiet morning, a sleek black car pulled into Michael's driveway. Claire stepped out, this time not as the lost, wounded stranger, but as the woman who had regained her power. Emma ran out first. "Claire, you came back!" Michael followed, smiling faintly. "Didn't expect to see you in the countryside again." She laughed softly. "I owed you both more than words could say." "You saved my life," he shrugged. "You'd have done the same." "Maybe," she said, "but not with that kind of heart." There was silence for a moment, the kind that carried everything unspoken. Gratitude, respect, maybe even something deeper neither dared to name. Before she left, she handed him an envelope. Inside was a letter offering him a new job, head of security for her foundation, helping veterans reintegrate into civilian life. Michael looked at her, surprised. "You really want me to work for you?" She smiled. "Not for me, with me. I want to build something that matters. Like you did for me." He didn't answer right away. He just looked toward Emma, who nodded eagerly. "Go on, Dad. You always tell me helping people is the best thing anyone can do." And just like that, a soldier found a new battlefield. Not of war, but of compassion and purpose. And a CEO who once ruled the world of power learned what true strength really meant: kindness, loyalty, and love. As the sun dipped behind the fields, Michael watched Claire drive away, knowing this wasn't the end of their story. It was only the beginning of a new chapter, one written not by fate, but by the choices of two hearts that refused to give up on humanity. This is Soul Spirit Story Z, where every ending is just a new beginning for the soul that dares to care.